So I'm here with Keith Nowak, who's the director of, what is it, smartphones? Communications
Yes.
in North America. Sorry, my memory's not very good at the moment. And
It's been a long week.
we have the Nokia Lumia 800 and Lumia 710. These are the two phones that just launched this morning in the UK, in London, at Nokia World. So Keith's just going to walk us through both devices. On the left we have the 800, and sorry, I'm getting in my own way here. So can you take us through the device, kind of show us what's great, what's fantastic, and what's brilliant about it?
Sure. I think I'll start with the actual design, which I think is just amazing on this device. So if you look at it straight on, it looks very square in many ways. But when you put it in your hand, it's, video doesn't do it justice, but you start looking at the sides and where it's really, really rounded and really, it's almost pillowy to feel. It's got this chassis is actually a piece of molded polycarbonate that's actually then machined so that it has no seams, everything's just dropped inside of it, which gives it a really nice seamless feel, very soft to hold. And kind of turn it around, you see this side's very clean. The top is even very clean. You have a 3.5mm jack like you'd expect. If I press here, it pops open. That's your micro USB port. And this is your SIM card. If I was going to open it, which would then, I have to turn the phone off so I won't do it, this would pop out and you have a little tray that slides out.
And this is a micro SIM.
It is a micro SIM. So you are using the smaller SIM cards in this device.
And what was the reasoning behind that?
I think that a lot of manufacturers are starting to see go towards the micro SIM for very much the same reason. They're going towards things like the micro USB on it.
Right.
Very simply, there's so much stuff packed into these phones these days and only so much real estate. Even the difference between a SIM and a micro SIM starts to make some difference in what you can put in the phone and still make it a really nice compact size.
Absolutely.
So in the front, one thing you also notice, it's again hard to pick up in video, but this glass screen is actually curved so that as the phone comes around here, the curvature continues on the glass. So it makes it very soft and very kind of almost supple when you feel it. There's not that hard break where the screen is, which is really, really cool.
You can see it in the video through kind of the reflection, the way that the reflection itself is convex. And
totally.
It's really beautiful to see in person, I have to say.
Yeah, it's, again, it's one of those products that's hard to do justice. You can see the tapered design on the side. And on the back, this is, Nokia's always been known for its imaging products. This is a 8-megapixel Carl Zeiss optic-equipped camera, also with a wide aperture for more light than your average camera phone. So really nice pictures, low light performance is good, dual LED flash, and again, the back is also very unique when you feel it. Real hard to see in pictures or in video, but it has almost a little pillowy effect to it, which just feels really nice.
What was, besides the design sensibility, what was the purpose of putting the camera right in the middle there as opposed to, say, on the corner or on the top? Was it just space-wise was the best place to put it?
Yeah, I don't know if there was a specific reason for it, but if you look at most Nokia phones, our want has always been to center it on the device. We'll look at this phone in a second, you'll see same thing, centered camera.
Right.
We've always worked to not offset it. I don't know that there's a specific reason for it, but we've always kind of centered the cameras like that. It's sort of part of the design ethos on a lot of our phones.
And the flash, somebody mentioned that the flash on this device was specifically tailored not to overpower when you take it. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Yeah,
it really just comes down to managing and developing, right? There's nothing magical about the LEDs, but again, in the software, the way that the whole thing's designed, sometimes you'll use an LED flash and it'll blow out your pictures. So it was just a matter of tailoring how the LEDs work, which components are being used, to where it's a much more soft, where it fills the light, but doesn't blow out your pictures. It's just a matter of balancing and engineering it correctly.
Can you turn it horizontally for me?
Other
way, that's great.
It's like, what's horizontal?
Just wanted to see it from a landscape perspective, and turn it around as well.
Okay. From the front side?
Yep.
There you go.
So it has a 800 by 480 pixel.
It is, so it's a WVGA screen, 3.7-inch AMOLED. So if I activate it,
let's turn
so
it
see
on.
There's the lock screen. One thing is, again, I think this will come through pretty well in video, but the screen almost seems to float to the top. It doesn't feel deep where you have to like it's coming up through a bunch of water or glass. It's really close to the top, which is a really nice effect on there. Gives it a really good angle, and it's this what we call a true black display. So it's really, really, really black blacks. And it, not only when it's powered, when you power it off, you can still see it. It just creates this really nice effect where you don't have a, the screen doesn't seem, it just seems like it's a big black.
Right, there's no differentiation between the end of the screen and the capacitive buttons, for example. You can see that perfectly here. It's
very, barely noticeable.
Exactly.
Which is really nice.
So, say from the off screen, you have the ability to get into the camera straight from the off screen.
So if I have it off, all I have to do, even though it's locked right now, I hold the camera key down, and it's going to go ahead and open up my camera just like that. It's really nice when you want to snap a really quick picture. You don't have to go, I gotta unlock the phone. Even if you're using a passcode, it'll still let you get to this part.
Right.
But as soon as you want to send it, then you're going to have to get into the actual. But you're at least able to really quick snap that picture, which is a really nice feature to have on there.
Okay. And this does 720p video.
720p HD video capture.
At 30 frames a second?
I believe it's 30 frames per second. Don't hold me on that one. I believe that is correct.
Okay. All right. So that's just a quick overview of the Lumia 800 from Nokia. And thank you very much. And we're going to go on to the 710 here. This is the lower end device. So just quickly, the price coming out in Europe. For the 800 is how much at the moment?
420 euros.
420 euros.
And
okay.
This one is 260 euros.
260. Okay, so
a significant difference.
Yep.
And what's nice about it, though, even though this is lower priced, you're still getting a lot of the goodness. This is an LCD rather than an AMOLED screen. It's a real nice LCD panel. Also using what we call that true black technology, which again when I turn it off, still looks really. Oops. Well, here. Still looks. Why are you doing that?
I'm hitting the
side keys.
Sides, yeah.
Whatever. Let me see if I can just do it one more time. There we go. So still that really, really black, inky black is what they've kind of called it. So you don't have that delineation almost at all. So there's your lock screen. You come up. Looks really nice, even though it is LCD. A lot of times you'll put an LCD next to an AMOLED, and you see a huge difference. It's not. Oops.
It's really not that noticeable.
It's not that noticeable. It's the AMOLED is brighter. That's the nature of the technology.
Right.
But this is a really nice LCD panel.
It is.
Same processor, both 1.4 gigahertz Snapdragon processors, so you're not losing anything in performance. Same size screen, 3.7 inches on both devices. Obviously, that would be AMOLED. This would be LCD. Camera's a little different. This is not Zeiss optics. It's 5 megapixels, but it's still going to give you a nice camera experience. Even on our non-Zeiss products, we work really hard to make sure that the imaging experience is really good.
Just to turn it around one more time, what was the decision making behind physical buttons as opposed to capacitive buttons on the 710?
Yeah, again, it's a lot about choice. A lot of people do say, some people. Again, you'll always have a difference of opinion. Some people like the smoothness and just sort of the elegance of not having any physical buttons, but other people like to have that tactile feedback. So again, I don't, it's not saying one's better, one's worse. It's it's a way that we are able to offer some choice in the devices.
Okay.
So on the top, you've got your micro USB charger, power key, and your 3.5 millimeter head switch jack. Side is your volume rocker and your camera key. And the bottom, there is going to actually nothing on the bottom. Your speaker is actually on the back on this device, whereas on the N800, it's actually on the bottom.
Oh yeah, I meant to ask you. So this was done in order to kind of keep the body really rigid, but
rigid and also clean design. Obviously, this is so smooth together. Putting holes in this would probably not. The design aesthetic would be not nearly as good. It's that real clean back that looks so good on this device.
It really does. Can't wait for people to see this in person. Okay, so
this device is actually on the back. So it's just a different design. I think it still looks really nice, but I think these holes on that clean back would look really weird.
Yeah.
So there is a method to the madness on that. But again, from a feature standpoint, one thing that's on both of these phones is the Nokia Drive app. I know, but that Nokia owns Navtech, which is the company that basically does virtually all the mapping information that's out there. So we're able to leverage that asset, and I'm not sure if I have anything loaded on this one, but with Nokia Drive, which is a free turn-by-turn mapping app. Not going to do anything on this one, but it's with a lot of other platforms, even Windows Phone, you don't necessarily get a free turn-by-turn navigation application right out of the box. This does it for you. And one of the things I really like is that it does allow you to preload maps, so that, so let's say I'm coming over to the UK like we are right now. Very nice for me to be able to say, hey, I've already got the maps on here. I don't have to spend literally $500 walking around London downloading maps.
Absolutely.
It's there.
Also, is there walking and transit directions on the Drive? Or is it just driving turn-by-turn?
It's turn-by-turn driving directions. There will be Nokia Maps on it as well, where you have more of the traditional map type of stuff going on.
And during the keynote, Stephen mentioned a transit and transit app that's going to be coming.
Yeah, I saw that. I honestly don't have a lot of information on that right now. I need to find out more about it. But again, with the Navtech asset we have, we're able to really do some very interesting things like transit applications where, not everybody has that information at arm's length that can bring in when's my bus coming, where's it going to pick me up. It's it's all going to be right in this device though.
Sure. All right. That's and the other thing was Nokia Music. If you have that
Nokia Music and Mix Radio. Those will be obviously we'll have more information market by market as we get closer, but. Mix Radio is probably actually the more interesting of the two because it's a free streaming radio application that lets you have a mix of music, huge library, and offline and off-network listening, which is kind of cool. I don't have it on here on this one, but it's a really cool application. And again, ESPN being the other one, which is very cool. So we were going to have a unique ESPN app on our devices that you can get an ESPN app for all Windows Phone devices off the marketplace, which is pretty good. But ours is going to take it a little bit further with more details, more video, things like that on it.
Okay, great.
And that will actually be unique per market. So if you're in Spain, let's say, you're going to get a different set of sports that come up, whether you're in Canada or in the US. Because obviously our friends here in the UK probably don't care about NFL.
That's true. Sorry about the planes. Okay, so that was a quick look with Keith Nowak from Nokia at the Lumia 710 and the Lumia 800 coming soon in early 2012 to North American markets. Thanks so much.